Hey, Soul Tribe. I'm KamalaDevi, and I'm here with Lisa Klieger and Attila Chidam. And we are making an invitation. Like, this is a very interesting time in which obviously there's a lot of transitions. And for those of you who are either enrolled or interested in the Temple Intensive that Lyon Winter Jade Icely and I were doing in Costa Rica, the big update is that because of the border closures and quarantine restrictions, they're not going to be able to get into New Zealand again. So we had a moment of feeling in as team, and the team actually included Lisa and Attila and Matteo and other Templars, really powerful ritualists like Tal. We were all really feeling what's possible in the lightning that Bruce brings and the vision that he had, and we were all still feeling very aligned with allowing the culture, the temple culture of Americas to come through. And so I invited Lisa and Attila to co-facilitate with me, and I wanted to introduce them to you with the vision of our putting our bodies together on the land and really listening, deeply listening to what our culture wants to come through, while through Highden, Bruce offers his transmissions virtually. And so we'd be doing a kind of a hybrid event. And so we wanted to share with you a little bit about what's been bubbling for us since this transition. Lisa, what's coming through you?
Yeah, I can speak into this. I'm really excited about this, and I have been since Bruce originally invited me to be an assistant, and now I'm on facilitating. And this, for me, is really, it's the anchoring of the temple in the United States and in the Americas. I mean, we're including all the Americas, but for me, it's specifically about anchoring the temple in the US, because we are the ones who will do it. Not us as team, but us as participants. Like, this is the temple that really drops that seed of dark into this continent. And going through, I mean, Costa Rica is right in the middle there, and taking that and sending a ripple out through the Americas down to South America, and with me definitely up into the United States. And this work is really important. It's really like crucial right now. You were speaking about that a minute ago, Attila. Do you want
to? Yeah, absolutely. Couple things alive for me right now. One is just I'm noticing the grief that comes up in my body when KD was speaking about, none of us being able to see Bruce in the 3D. So just feeling into our kind of original plans that we thought was the perfect plans, and just taking a moment in my being to just release them into the spirit and allowing the potential of just what is the new thing that wants to come through. Yeah, it's been an incredible journey over the last year, especially. Actually, this happened before Bruce's not being able to physically make it to the US allowed a whole bunch of upstarts in the United States to then actually land Ray 7 in California, and then there have been temple gatherings in Costa Rica and Colorado and different parts of the US to keep actually feeding the culture of the temple in a way that feels very homegrown, with this upstart frontier kind of, we roll with the punches as they come, we roll with the punches of the spirit as they come kind of spirit that is actually very exciting for me. So I'm finding that I'm holding the kind of the grief of not seeing just Bruce that I've been so looking forward to see for like it's like deep kink play. They just have these teasers and then just not have it, and then I'm just noticing the ways that he's actually still able to really support us and penetrate us with this transmission, while allowing this homegrown temple culture to actually arise. And The last thing that I want to say is, for me, the vision of this time that is coming through is a time of deep play and joy and co-creation. And it's also so much deeper with the threshold of civilization that I feel like we're at, that I feel in my bones. Learning how to be the temple as individuals, in partnerships, in communities, just feels like the most essential thing that we can explore right now in co-creation and co-curiosity together. So we set the blueprints of what is to come in this time of great social malleability.
Yeah.
Like lots of limitations and so much possibilities to lay the groundwork for the civilization that we actually want to live in. And that is the invitation to co-create that together right now.
I'm so glad you brought that up. It's at the core of why we temple. And I want to, presence that a lot of times as tantrikas, because it's sexual and it's shamanic and it's, like this ecstatic field that we get into, that there can be, a loss into the pleasure. And so much at the depths of what makes a temple, not just a play party, is this deep devotion to the evolution, to the bringing heaven on earth and changing culture. And so I know that we're, speaking to other change makers, that this is really for those who are visionary, who are creating intentional communities or temples, spaces or ecstatic, dances, or like those, healers, teachers, visionaries who really want to come together and synergize. We really, when we put our bodies together, activate each other's wisdom, where we're bringing in new templates, and then we ripple that out into the world. So a lot of what we'll be doing is exchanging medicine with different people who are also high vibration and also visionaries. And that's my experience, with you, Lisa. Lisa and Attila were both in the last, the race 7 training, but you were really a big initiator for me into the temple training lineage. And I know you've been doing this on the grounds, in Highden. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that, about how it's, really a devotional service?
Yeah, it's really, so dear to my heart. But I arrived at Highden for race 5, and then I stayed for race 6, and then I ended up facilitating race 7, and being there for Love Lab when the lockdown happened, and actually staying in New Zealand for 2 years, like really really sinking into the depths of that whole community and Highden and the experiment that's happening, and getting a real download in my body of what temple culture is, like what in this tradition, how a temple works, what are the temple technologies. And a lot of it feels like it takes the tantra work and it goes the next level. It's like the drop deeper, like once you have this opening in your body and you're able to run the energy fully, how do you put that energy at the footstep, on the altar, like in the service of something greater than us, in the service of something greater than my personal pleasure or the, my life. It's like, how do I put it on the altar for something, that will serve all of humanity, and in this tradition, actually all of cosmos. Like there's something so essential about what we're doing in this work that is serving something really huge. And that devotional bit is the part that I really hope that we bring to this training, that drop of dark that takes everything just one step deeper and really brings that quality of wholeness and unity, and the things that we're needing in our culture, especially in the West right now, is that, like, how not to be in polarity with one another, how not to be in this place where we're having to resist and rebel and all of this, like how do we bring the wholeness in? So that's like, it's really sacred to me, this part of the dark, and bringing in this to this country and to this continent, where it hasn't had such a hold yet.
Yeah, I want to present the conversation that I was having with Bruce in the process of this transition. We're like, it's an interesting thing to make this invitation, because it's not like we want to like market, like, here's what you're going to get, this is what you're going to learn. It's like there's a deep unlearning, and there's also a knowing, that there's an opening through the land, through the rituals and the self-activating ceremonies. There's a coming into your own gnosis. And so we joked, we're like, how marketing is normally like, here's what you're going to get. And then people will come through the temple door and then they're like, I get so much more. But really what we're selling is actually something that you didn't know that your soul yearned for. And so it's the most awkward thing in the world to try to say, this is why you want to come. But the genuine invitation is to feel the vibration, to listen for the note that's been sounded. And you'll know, if it's vibrating you in, or some of you may vibrate out as a result and say, okay, I'm not ready for that, or that doesn't resonate, because we really trust the wisdom of the field. And that's why I'm really excited to have Lisa and Attila's energy here to feel the collective resonance that we're all listening.
Can our tagline be,
yeah,
you will learn nothing?
And experience much.
Experience everything.
We of course in this temple work a lot with erotic energy and how we can deepen in the full exploration of this erotic energy in service of our spirit. And as you were speaking, KamalaDevi, a distinction was coming to me between erotic intelligence, which feels a little bit like skill building. Like how can I, and this is like some of the ISTA work that we do, that how can I kind of channel my erotic energy in a way that is constructive and healthy and integrity and service, to erotic wisdom, which feels like actually once I clear all my expectations and shadows and prisons and preconceived notions even of what it is that I've adopted and created for myself, what is the erotic wisdom that wants to emerge in service of spirit and in service of temple work? So it's the sense of emergence, intuition, inner knowing that I think we'll be inviting each one of us to be a part of, that sense of how do we tap into our deepest sense of erotic mystery and allowing it to show us the way on how to land the ground temples.
And I think on that, there's also this sense that we're being held by something so much greater, because there's so much energy that comes through this lineage and through Highden, and we're really being supported in some of the more in the subtle worlds. I really feel that support coming through. There's something that's been built upon for many years, and we get to ride that wave. We get to immerse ourselves and marinate in this juicy lineage that adds a lot of support for the work that we're doing.
Yeah, you bring through the lineage, which is really kind of this cosmology, and it comes through the field. And so we have this, these ecstatic frequencies, and then we have the erotic frequencies of the land. Because in Costa Rica, we're 7 minutes from the ocean view, like rain and nature and howling monkeys, and we're really on the land. And so big part of our journey will be listening to the not just our first teacher, but also the animal wisdom and the plants and minerals. So it really is beyond the heart of humanity. It's like about being in right relation with all our relations, and letting that inform who we need to be for the next evolution of the planet. So I'm, delighted to be exploring that on many levels. It really is a multi-dimensional exploration. And we look forward to being in conversation with you ongoingly before the training as well. So we'll be dropping in and meditating and sharing from the wisdom that comes through as we prepare. Okay, well, we look forward to connecting soon. Thank you. Blessings.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.